Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I've got to call out Clarium here. I've got to call out Raid for their antics recently in fusions. I'm going to call them out, but I'm also going to try and drop you some knowledge to help you through what is quite a dark time. So what I want to talk about today is Dungeon Divers. And just before we get into it, Summon Rush has also dropped. And Summon Rush is looking pretty shady as well. At 3k for a 25 fragment. Most fusions we expect to see, like if it was a rare champion we were building into epics, we expect to see it around 2150. And then maybe an epic champion sitting down here at like 49.25. 2 slots up just for the 25 fragments at 3k feels rough, honestly. There's a lot of people that are on the fence on this fusion, and I feel like some of the antics here are just going to throw them way back, you know, or, well, just like throw them over the edge and be like, nah, I'm just not bothered. Just not going to do it. So seems dumb to me. But main purpose of this video is Dungeon Diver event. This used to be, back in the day, the easy one, by the way. Yeah, they've massively changed the goalpost on Dungeon Divers events over the last probably like 6 months. And now it is hard as nails and feels like it's getting tougher and tougher. So this one was a 3-day event. And we needed to get to minimum here, 3,700 to get your fragments over the line. I did start early on my dragon farm, right? But I was like, hold on a second. I've done a bunch of dragon farm yesterday and I'm nowhere near. I'm like not even close right now to where I need to get to. And I've only got 2 days left here. It's not like I've got, you know, a ton of days to get this done. So I was like, let me just work out the sort of point scoring and actually do some math around what do you need to do to get this done. And when I say I actually mean Saf. Saf is a legend when it comes to this stuff. I literally just hit him up this morning. I was like, Saf, do you happen to have just like a spreadsheet good to go on Dungeon Divers? Within about 2 seconds, he was like, ah, pop, there it is. So let's go through it. And I guess firstly, we're going to help you understand where you're best to spend your time, your farm. Because we've got this Dungeon Divers here. We've then got this long one. Right, so if they add more days, it normally means you need more points. That's the fact of it. The first one here only crosses over with Dragon in terms of a dungeon, but you do get some champion training in. But the second one, you've got Ice Golem and a little bit of crossover with Fire Knight. And the last one, you've got Fire Knight into Spider. So if there's 2 dungeons in the mix, obviously it's a bit easier because you're spending your energy on 2 things. But yeah, this one doesn't cross over, which just means it feels like a lot of wasted energy, honestly. But let's talk about efficiency. So Saf's pulled together this chart. Looks a bit complex at first, but actually it's pretty damn good at explaining what's going on here. So you've got the stage number of a dungeon up the top. Yeah, so a stage 20 dungeon costs you 16 energy, and then Saf's broken down the rewards that you can get. Okay, and as you go across, you can see stage 20 dungeon, 16 energy. 24 is also pretty efficient at 18 energy. 25 starts to cost you 20 energy and becomes one of the least efficient areas in the game. And then as you work your way through hard, because the energy doesn't change but the drop quality improves, your efficiency starts to pick back up again. But if you look down towards the bottom of the sheet here, we've got the event points. So event points is basically Dungeon Diver points, okay? And you can see here we've got 98.83 event points on average for a full energy refill, okay? Goes across then to reduce for level 24. This is for level 20, the efficient one. Level 24 gets worse. Level 25 gets a lot worse at only 83 points per energy refill. And then it starts to creep back up. But honestly, stage 20 in dungeons is where it's at for energy efficiency. And I worked this back through. So I was like, well, hold on a minute. If I was just to run Dragon and just to run stage 20... like, how much energy would I need to spend to get this particular Dungeon Divers done? And it works out to be 4,868 energy to get just this Dungeon Divers done. Right, so then I was like, guys, how much energy do we get? And we get about 1,000 energy a day, right? If you sort of factor in your initial amount, 130, and then you get your 5 arena fights gives you 130. You get your advanced quests energy, but you have to spend a bit of energy normally to do that as well. You get potentially another refill from your daily pack. The game rewards energy, and then you get your sort of general refill. Okay, so you get about 1,000 energy a day. Now, this is a 3-day event raid, right? 3-day event, and we need to spend, if we're being as efficient as we can, 4,868 energy for a dungeon divers for 25 fragments. Like, you're already having to dip in. For the first event in a fusion, you're having to dip way into your gem count. Yeah, or you're having to go into places like the clan shop and spend up a bunch of your clan gold to get the energy. But even then, that's not enough. Like, you still would need a decent chunk more than that. Like, the point scoring is way out. And if, it's where it starts to get a bit crazy, right? So you're saying, well, hold on a minute. Hell Hades, you're going over the top. There's also a champion training event on. Yes, there is. So champion training, again, Saf's pulled together this very helpful sheet to work out where should we farm our areas, right? So 12-3 brutal is where it's at for good silver count. Yeah, we know that from previous workings. But is it energy efficient to get dungeon diver points in campaign? Well, what Saf's worked out here is like the average chance of what items will drop, etc. And worked it out as well for 12-6 Nightmare. Because some people farm Nightmare because it's better for efficiency of leveling champions. So you're trying to do two things here. You're trying to level champions whilst earning dungeon diver points. So I worked it through. Again, if you were farming 12-3 brutal, which is the most efficient place to get dungeon diver points, if you were just doing that for the dungeon diver event, that would cost you over 7,000 energy to do it that way. So it's way less efficient than farming dungeons. So you're going to end up spending between the two of them, if you were doing it with energy, something close to 5,500 to 6,000 energy just to get these fragments. Like, if you're a newer player, so I guess newer players probably got a lower number here, but still, if you're a newer player or like a mid-game player and you're excited about a fusion, how put off are you by event number 1 and then day 2, you're like, well, crap, there goes all of my shards, if you're lucky, to get this. How the hell am I going to do the champion chase later on? Honestly, it's just, I don't know, it just feels like pushing it over the edge, probably because it's a void legendary. And I've got to say it now, the more I'm using this dude, the harder he is to make awesome. Like, his kit is awesome, and I'm sure this is the hard thing about it. Down the line, he's going to be like a Brogni. Down the line, something's going to trigger. We're going to find some awesome teams for this guy. I know that we will. But at the moment, he's basically a Sonic, right? And Sonic, where does he live for me at the moment? Well, I'll tell you what, he lives in the vault, right? Sonic does not get an outing for me, yeah, at all. I'm an endgame account. I've got loads of champions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I have. So I'm an anomaly, I guess. If you don't have loads of champions, he will be a useful champion. Yes, he will unlock Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, etc. But not easily. Not in a Helicaf way, which was easy teams. This dude's more difficult to use. Okay, you need more understanding of things like stun targeting, speed tuning, all that type of stuff to make this guy work well. So I just feel like they're alienating this fusion right from the start. And I'm hoping to get some test server access to Bommel to see if this chick might be the better avenue for you guys for some Bommel unlocking. Sort of doing a bit of theory crafting with YST at the moment. Feels like she could end up being very cool for Bommel. You might need a couple of copies of her though, so it may be that that's the better avenue. Anyway, bit of a rant and hopefully some information as well. But I just feel like these dungeon divers, they've gone so far past the events now that it's getting a bit ridiculous. So raid, sort it out, and help your player base. Give them a few thousand energy to get it done. Anyway, there you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.